This is Unreal Engine in 2021, MetaHuman, Quixel and beyond. Let's start with a short introduction. So, hi, I'm Ari, an Unreal Engine evangelist at Epic Games. I'm focusing mostly on Northern Europe, which means the Nordics, the Baltics and St. Petersburg. I come from a game programming background. I've been 14 years in the industry in various programming positions, from gameplay and tools to lead programming. The last thing I worked on was as a lead programmer on Returnal for the PlayStation 5 at Housemarque. Let's talk a little bit about what Epic Games does. There's two things we mostly focus on: making our own games and then licensing out our technology. Our own games are games like Unreal Tournament, Gears of War 1, 2 and 3, and of course the massively popular Fortnite. But we don't just make games, we also license out the technology we use to make them. That's Unreal Engine. And it's being used by a lot of games and non-games alike. Because we make games using our own engine, we have a massive advantage. We know what it takes to ship a game that needs to scale on all different platforms out there. We know what it takes to make multiplayer work for millions of players. And we know how to work at scale, with big teams working in different countries. Making these games, and especially Fortnite, has taught us so much, and we take all that knowledge, all that technical foundation, and we share it with everyone using Unreal Engine. We want to enable everyone on the team to be able to use AAA quality tools and pipelines to create without limit. Using Unreal Engine, you get that package up front, so you can speed up processes, do faster iterations, and collaborate like never before. At Epic, we want to empower everyone to create and share compelling real-time 3D content and experiences. So these are our core aspects. For creators, by creators. Like I just mentioned, we are creators ourselves, so we understand the creation process firsthand. We believe in an open and connected ecosystem, and I believe this third one is very important. We only succeed when you succeed. Because of our licensing model, we only profit when you do. Actually, we only profit when you profit a lot. Because for the first $1 million per title, we don't charge anything at all. We also don't charge a license per seat or per month, so we don't profit the bigger your team is, and we don't profit the longer it takes you to develop the game, because what kind of incentive would that drive? We want you to be successful. Only then do we benefit. Well, that's why we're here for you, to help you make a better game, and that's what drives us to push our technology forward. And lastly, we strive for unparalleled quality and fidelity. Okay, reach the next level. Sorry, that's a lot of text, but basically we enable you to make all sort of content from indies to blockbuster. And we have a unified pipeline, meaning you only author once, but you're able to publish to all these platforms. Our features are, of course, top-notch graphics. It's ready for next-generation PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles. It's got the same multiplayer framework we use in Fortnite. And we give you access to the whole C++ source code of the entire engine. So you never have to wonder about what's happening underneath the hood, like it's some sort of black box. You can just read the code and modify it. And this is super important in the last thrust of the project. If you have some bug or something that's stopping you from shipping, you can just either cherry pick only a fix for that from our GitHub, or even fix it yourself. So you're not on the mercy of our bug fix release schedule. We also have Blueprints, a very powerful visual scripting language, so you don't need to know C++ to make some gameplay features. There are actually multiple games that have shipped using only Blueprints and no code, so not knowing code doesn't need to be a limiting factor. Unreal Engine is prepared for next gen. At the beginning of the year, out of every single announced next-gen console title, 46% are running on Unreal Engine. And the last game I worked on, Returnal, was one of those. This is very new, the Epic Online Services. This is something that we have that's outside of Unreal Engine, so it's not only tied to that. This is basically most of our online tech that we've made for Fortnite that we're making available for everyone, whether you're using Unreal Engine or not. EOS is an online infrastructure for connecting games and communities across all platforms. we have just a single SDK that's available right now. It's in either C or C#. For Unreal Engine, it's available as a plugin on our GitHub repository, which you can download right now. It's still experimental, so it's not shipped yet with the binary launcher version of Unreal, but we're working on it. And for Unity, you can, of course, download the C# SDK and start using it already, but we also have a Unity plugin on the way. It contains an essential set of game and account services. These are the same services we're using for Fortnite, so it's already fully operated and battle-tested at scale. And it's completely free, not just for a certain size of game, but any size, any platform, any engine, any store, we don't care. It's free. Here's a list of the services we're offering. You can use any of these to ship on any platform. It works with any account system, and we've already pre-integrated it with all the major identity providers. It's open, it's modular, it's extendable. You can use just one, a few, or all of them, and you can mix and match them with others or your own services. And since it's the same system as we're using on Fortnite, we have 24/7 live ops from the Fortnite team, basically, from the people that operate Fortnite. On the boxes on the right, you can see what we have and what we're working on. Some examples for multiplayer, we have matchmaking and peer-to-peer regardless of firewalls or router setups, leaderboards, and for progression, we have player data storage and achievements. And we're still working on some things like voice chat and even the same anti-cheat system we use in Fortnite. And all of that, all still for free. The Epic Online services being open on every platform and store will enable anyone to implement crossplay as we have in Fortnite. That means for your game, you can log into the game on any device, progress everywhere, have friends across different platforms and stores, and crossplay to anywhere. What you need for crossplay are services to ship everywhere. That's platform-independent services like multiplayer and progression and access to friends across platforms. Just one single identity to log in to any of the major account systems, and a social interface for your friends that reaches all platforms. For identity, it allows users to log in anywhere using any major identity provider or even your own. Users will only need a one-time account linking per platform if they haven't linked already. And for social, it allows you to have a single friend list which joins all your friends across all stores and all platforms with a single UI. It's not just Fortnite that's already using Epic Online services. We have over 100 active titles already using it. So the service is already very battle-tested. If you use Epic Online services, for example, for launching on the Epic Games Store, then you've already set the foundation for all of the platforms. And I think this is a massive thing. Every other platform has some version of their own online services, but implementing them ties you to their platform and only their platform. Ours works on all of them. It's allowing you to easily port your game to another platform or store and have it just work with minimum effort. You can manage all the services and integrations yourself. We've put a lot of effort in the EOS documentation, which you can already check out. You also have access to tooling and dashboards for monitoring and managing the online services in your live game. These dashboards and all the services are hosted by us for you for free. We're not hosting, of course, the game backend itself, like multiplayer server instances. That's still your game, so you have to figure that one out. But all the mentioned services that I just talked about now, they're hosted by us. You can get started with Epic Online Services already by going to dev.epicgames.com. And now on to Quixel. Epic Games joined forces with Quixel a couple of years ago, and to be able to bring their huge collection of high-quality 3D scanned assets to all Unreal Engine users for free. We capture the world so you can create your own. And we keep adding more and more assets to it so we can try to be the most diverse library out there. I'm going to expand a bit on the Mixer 2021 update, capturing reality and modeling in Engine. Let's start with a quick video showing what's new in Mixer 2021. Mixer is a texturing tool that works out of the box with Megascans. It allows you to do a lot of things like procedurally create brand new textures out of nothing, or even mixing in other textures and even to 3D paint directly onto models. One of Mixer's 2021's new features are the multiple texture sets. You can paint across only the texture sets you want to and select and isolate those different texture sets. This works, of course, with all your Megascans materials. Mixer is a very viable and free option. We also just had Capturing Reality joining Epic Games with their leading photogrammetry software, Reality Capture. It enables anyone to scan the world with objects and scenes of any size. You can use images, laser scans, or even both together as inputs. One of the first things we did together was to drastically lower the price. So, for example, the unlimited perpetual enterprise license has been reduced from $15,000 to $3,750. We also have an alternate pay per input pricing model where you only pay once for the input images that you want to process, but you can then process those images as often in any way and anyhow you want for no added cost. You have very powerful tools available to you for manipulating assets inside of Unreal Engine by enabling the Modeling Tools Editor Mode plugin. With it, you can improve your iteration times by simply adjusting the assets inside Unreal Engine. We have a wide range of geometry tools which you can use, so let's just check out how to use them. So here we have the medieval village scene. The scene is something you can download from the asset store. It's just called Medieval Village. It's for free. And as you can see, we picked a beam and a board just from the scene. And just with these two assets, I'm going to create a full boat. So there's the mode. In the modes, modeling mode, you have to enable the plugin that I mentioned before. And now we're using the Space Deformer tool. And it allows you to use many different operations. Now we're using the operation type bend. And for the boat, that's actually going to be pretty much the only thing we need. Here you can see how it works. So we also have some videos from the Quixel team that shows you how Medieval Village was made. I recommend that you check them out. It also shows you basically just how they use these modeling tools. Every time we want to make a unique mesh, we copy the original mesh that we did, and then we make our adjustments to it. And as soon as you apply your adjustments, it's going to save it over that mesh. So that's why we always copy it every single time we're about to make a new piece. And one thing that is insanely powerful about this is that the UVs are conserved. So with these modifiers, like you can there's the numbers there in the tool on the left, but you also have the gizmo that allows you to really fine control the modifiers of the tool. As soon as you know your way around the tools, you can basically just start creating your own meshes. As I said before, this is an experimental plugin. We are still working on this tool, so we will be improving it as time goes. Maybe making it more accessible, who knows. The only things we needed to make this boat was that we used that Space Deform tool and then also plane cut and mirror. And that's it. That's like all the operations we needed to be able to make a whole new asset, like almost from scratch, basically just using a board and the beam. Even though I'm only using these three for the boat, we do have other tools that you should definitely experiment with, like sculpting that allows you to just, completely change the vertices. And there in the end, I'm using the Merge Actors tool, which just creates one big mesh out of everything. So So we don't have like 100 different assets for each board. It's just one mesh for the boat. And there we go. It's pretty much ready. Then of course we need somewhere to sit your avatars. And now we're using the cutting also to cut off. There you go. All right. One of the cool new things we've been working on is the MetaHumans Creator. The MetaHumans Creator has accessible tools to create your own characters. You can create characters with a wide range of variety in a matter of minutes, exportable straight to Unreal Engine. It comes ready to be animated in Engine with Control Rig or your own DCC like Max, Maya, or Blender, and it has very high quality skin, eyes, and hair. And you don't have to have a very powerful machine to create your characters. We're processing all of this in our servers. The creator is very easy to use. It's like a character creator in video games, but with improvements. You can mix humans and blend different parts of them. And we have some set of hairstyles. We're working on adding more varieties and also adding LODs to the varieties that we already have. We only have LODs for like the first 1 or 2 LODs. And it exports directly to Unreal Engine using Bridge. And let me show you quickly how that works also. So to get started with, I'm going to create Meta Ari. So it's going to be a MetaHuman version of me. I'm going to, we select a starting point. So here I'm selecting what I think looks most like me, Ettore, what was his name? And you can scroll down and like, you know, these are all our starting points that we have right now. I don't see anyone that looks like more like me, so let's go with the generic white dude. You start with in a preview mode. It will allow you to play animations to see what it looks like from different angles and how it, you know, reacts in animations. I'm gonna now just check out the skin. As you can see, there's many textures. So I'm not super young, but not too old either. So let's try to find a middle point there. Like, yeah, I would have a little bit of accent to my eyes. And then you can set the roughness. You can see there the difference is basically how oily your skin is. My eyes are a bit blue, gray blue. So yeah, let's select one of these presets. And then you can customize it further. Like this is just the starting point. And like here you can see I'm growing, shrinking the iris. And then we can edit the sclera, which is the white part around the eyes. And you can zoom in, like you can really zoom in and see the like crazy details of the eyes there. Now, as you can see, my hair has a lot of salt and pepper in it, so we'll just crank that right up. Putting it to 1 makes it like quite silvery. It's not that silvery. We want it a bit rougher. That looks nice. And then you can even use the move tool, like my chin. I don't have that strong enough a chin, so let's pull it back a little bit. That looks about right. Yeah. And my nose, like I have a Roman nose, or as we call it in Iceland, the king's nose. It's got this big bridge, so let's really stick it out. What it's basically doing behind the scenes is that it's picking from all the samples of like metahumans that we already have. It's like nothing is really being created from scratch. I'm quite clean shaven, so let's just disable the beard. As you can see, we have a few beard options. We're working on adding more. The ones with the exclamation mark means that they don't have LODs at versions of the lower LODs or higher LODs. But we're working on that. Right as we speak. And let's also take off the mustache. I prefer to be clean shaven. Okay. So it's not capturing my eyes, so we can go into the sculpt mode and just drag around these anchors. And you can see, like, it's kind of like merging between different eye types. In my case, I'm not really finding that I'm able to use the sculpts to make my eyes how they are. So maybe it would be better if we figure out, like, let's grab some different metahumans and basically just blend between them. So this is the merge mode, and we're going to now select Gavin. Start with him, and let's add 2 more. So that has similar eyes to me. Maybe are my eyes a bit more Asian, maybe more feminine? I don't know. Let's try those 3. And now in the blend mode, as you can see, I can drag it through that triangle to just blend between those 3 humans and kind of, you know, find a middle point out of that. Now this is like, okay, it's not looking exactly like me, but I'm happy enough. Drawing the cheeks a little bit. Okay, I think that's looking good now. You can click preview again, see how it moves. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get any better. Let's select the body type. I'm not that thin. Oh my god, not that buff either. Let's go with somewhere in the middle. Well, I don't know. Yeah, that works. I'm more of a hoodie kind of guy, so let's put that on. And with the clothes, as you can see, yeah, we don't have that many options yet. We are also working on that. And but you can also, after you've selected your piece of clothing, you can edit the colors of it also. So let's go with something a bit more comfy since we're inside. And then you have the primary color and secondary color that you can just change right there in the editor. It's super easy, like very intuitive. I didn't, the first time I was using it, I didn't feel like I needed to watch an instructional video or anything like that. It's just start it up and start playing with it. Like I said, it's like a character creator in a game. And then when we're done with it, we just close the tab. You don't even have to click save. And you go open Quixel Bridge. And then here you can see all the MetaHuman presets that just come out of the box. So you don't even have to create your own. But then if you go to My MetaHumans, there you can see there's my face. So you click the little download button. It's going to start downloading it, generating it. This is going to take a few minutes. So I'm just going to fast forward through that. And then once it's done downloading, you have it now locally, and you can export it to any running Unreal Engine instance. So I have one running now, and let's check it out later. So after you've exported the MetaHuman to Unreal Engine, it's ready to use. Using Control Rig, you can already start posing and animating it in Engine using the body and face controls. We also have a body and hands picker tools to help when posing. You can use those to animate fully using Sequencer, and you can even export those into FBX or anim sequences or anim poses and use that for like even additive animations. You can do a lot of things with this, not only for cinematics, but you can export and create new animation assets with that. It comes with a hair system that also has physics integrated. And it comes with a realistic eye and skin materials. So let's check out how that works with MetaAri. Okay, so we're back to the medieval village. If I zoom out a little bit, you can see like this is quite a nice scene. You can download this and like use it for whatever you want and pick and choose. But what we're gonna do with this is that we're gonna take the MetaHuman that we just exported, MetaAri. He's just right there after exporting it from Bridge. We're just gonna pull him in. As you can see, the hair just disappeared. But as I go closer, it comes back. This is because it doesn't exist at lower LODs. And yeah, we are working on that. You can always, make your own versions if you want. So let's position him a little bit better in the boat. And let's create a new cinematic so we can start posing him. So let's just call it cinematic sequence, MetaAri boat. And we just start by selecting MetaAri, and we click track, add him there. then we have this body and face and 2 control rigs for that. If you look, Unreal basically shows you there the facial rig, and you can do cool things like control the eyes. You can see that it pulls the eyelids with it, and it's quite amazing what you can do with this. It moves everything that is connected to it also. But we're gonna just position the body, and here you can see the control rig, and you can click all the different controls to move them around like this. But for some people, it can be quite tedious to basically be always selecting them manually. So we have a tool that helps you with that. So if you go into the MetaHumans common tools folder, you have this picker there. And by right-clicking on it and clicking Run in Editor, you'll get this pop-up where you can click in that panel, and you have to select the actor, of course, for it to work. And if you click on the controls, it will activate the control in the viewport. So I'm gonna just select the pelvis there, and let's sit him down. That looks comfy. Let's make him not clip through the board as much. Okay. And I want him to reach the side of the boat so he can, rest his hand there. So let's move him maybe a little bit closer, like that. So we can put the hand there. And so if you just start controlling the hand as is, you can see it's a little bit janky. It's because we're not using inverse kinematics, so we can turn on the inverse kinematics for kinematics. And now if you pull him up, you can see the whole arm basically reacting to it. And you can also move the elbow controller there to kind of like choose where the elbow goes when it bends. And this makes it really easy. Just like we just move this control for the wrist, and it just moves everything, and it will all like just look fine. And then I'm going to rotate these a little bit so the thumb doesn't stick out. And I've never done any posing or animation in my life, so as you can see, if I can do it, it's quite accessible. I'm going to now turn on the inverse kinematics for the legs, and let's try to make that foot a little bit more, I don't know, so it fits better, or so it looks a bit more natural. Maybe pull it out a bit. It's still clipping a little bit through the boat, so maybe rotate it, I don't know, that way? Is that natural? Do people sit like this? Maybe like this. Yeah. That looks kind of right. I don't know, it looks kind of uncomfortable. That's probably how people would sit. I don't know where else you would put that foot. Okay, that's good enough. And let me see, then let's do the kinematics on the hand. Select that one. As you can see, we can move that one around also. And then let's just put it on our thigh. Rotate it. So also let's pull in the elbow a bit. There we go. Now Meta looks a bit more relaxed. Not like he's in agonizing pain from clipping through stuff. And you could, do per finger if you wanted to. So now in the sequencer, I'm just gonna click the control rig and hit the keyframe. So it creates a keyframe for everything. So now we basically, saved that. You can now save it. You can animate it, create more keyframes if you want. And if you right click the body, it will, you can see you can bake pose asset, bake animation sequence, or even export as FBX animation. So you can, basically create new assets and animation from that. So we recently had RAD join the Epic Games family, and we're planning to integrate RAD's powerful tools right into Unreal Engine. One of those tools is Urul, a set of compression tools that will be available in Unreal Engine. If you want access to it already, you can download an experimental version of it in our internal development branch on GitHub, which we've just recently made public, those branches. Or if you want to wait for the binary support, you don't have to wait long. It's already planned to ship in 4.27 and of course Unreal Engine 5. Using Urul on your pack files, you can reduce your game size by 25 to 50%. It manages to compress it really well. You can also use it to compress UTP and TCP packets for your networking, saving bandwidth for both players and your servers. Urul supports compressing many things. We have data compression for your game's data to decrease the game size. We have texture compression for block compressed BC1 to BC7 GPU textures. We have also lossless image compression. It's like PNG, but 5 to 10 times faster. And the network compression that I just mentioned. And that's it. Thank you for listening. As a reminder, if you are in the Nordics or Baltics and using Unreal Engine or have any questions regarding anything Epic Games related, you should definitely reach out. My email is ari.arnbjörnsson@epicgames.com, and you can also contact me on social media with my handle Flassare, which is a bit more easier to digest than my last name.